most important sentence in the Agile Manifesto is the first one. We are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others to do it. Remember that Agile is about adapting to change, and the Agile Manifesto is no exception. The Agile Manifesto is founded in the acknowledgement that things will change and we will learn more effective ways to do things. The first value of the Agile Manifesto is individuals and interactions over processes and tools. This value does not mean that there are no processes and tools in Agile. Rather, what it means is that we value how people work together, collaborate, and interact first. An example of this is communicating only through raising tickets in an online tool like Jira or Zendesk, or doing what is often referred to as zombie processes that add little to no value to outcomes but are followed because the process exists. Rather than being victim to zombie processes or communicating ineffectively through tools, Agile values people talking face-to-face or collaborating together to achieve an outcome. The second value is working software over comprehensive documentation. This value was in direct response to the overbearing amount of documentation that traditional processes demanded. Documentation is important and necessary. However, traditional processes fall victim to over-documenting. Hundreds of hours are spent documenting things that go unread or become out of date quickly. Further, most documentation was done up front. This meant that months would go by, thousands of dollars spent with nothing built to show for it. This was often at the expense of the final product, with plenty of time for documentation up front, but squeezing development and testing at the end meant that scope and quality suffered. Instead, Agile serves the customer and business. This means, first and foremost, the team's priority is their deliverable to them, not a project plan. Customers don't want a document of the product you hope to build them, they want the product. The third value is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Delivering exceptional customer and business outcomes relies on good collaboration. This principle hones in on the common scenario where companies get stuck doing business with themselves. Where departments negotiate with each other, requirement changes, and customer requests are treated as bad and something to avoid. Negotiation in traditional methodologies such as Waterfall only occurs at the beginning, and the project where the project team work with the business and customers to determine the details, scope, solution, and requirements. Any changes post this stage are treated as a breach of contract. They often require lengthy change request processes, which ultimately waste time, money, and resources. Instead, Agile looks to promote constant and continuous collaboration, not just collaboration up front. Agile values business people, developers, and customers working together continuously throughout the project, making it easier and quicker for teams to respond to changes and meet their needs. The final Agile value is responding to change over following a plan. Perhaps the most self-explanatory value. Agile values acknowledging change and responding to it, rather than following a predetermined plan where it no longer makes sense to do so. This does not mean that there is no planning in Agile. On the contrary, Agile promotes greater planning than more traditional methodologies. The difference, however, is that planning in Agile is continuous, not a one-off event that only happens at the start. Whereas in traditional methodologies like Waterfall, a single planning stage up front does not create flexibility for future change